Hi y'all, welcome back to My Piece Woodturning. It's getting close to approaching Christmas, and you know what that means? Christmas tree ornaments, one of my favorite things to turn. I discovered this really cute little and simple gnome or elf ornament, suitable even for beginners. And it's a great project if you got to turn a lot of them, like my friend Bert Delisle out of Edmonton, Canada, whose friends and family list is up to about 80 now. I'm not sure I can have that much fun, but go for it, Bert.
What kind of wood do we need? Well, we need some wood scraps. You need a piece for the head about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit less, and about 2¼ inches long. If you want a light wood, could be holly, could be maple. In this case, this is a piece of box. You could turn the nose out of the end of a longer scrap like this, but if you're going to make more than one, heck, use some smaller scraps and do multiple noses. For the hat, some kind of dark contrasting wood, in this case cherry burl, I think is going to look nice, but you know, walnut would be fine, about 1/2 inch by 3 inches long. So we're going to turn the hat first. I'm going to mark the center, help line it up in the chuck, and to help with drilling later. Do that for centering, and let's tighten it up. Alright, got it mounted in a chuck. I'm going to drill a very small hole. The size is not relevant. I'm going to use 1/4 inch because I'm not going to bother to mount it in a drill chuck. I'm just going to use this hand drill, and 1/4 inch is what I've got. And you only have to go in about 1/4 inch. This is they use to register the head to the hat, and it also makes it a little easier to support this with the tailstock. Live center to reduce any chatter you might have. So next we're going to round it. You also want to face this off in order that it'll sit flat on the head, so let's do that. Just use a spindle gouge. Light touch. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and bring up tailstock. Round it off. Alright, now we're going to go switch to something a little smaller. I've almost got it round. We're going to round over the edge of the hat. It's going to be the bottom of the brim. We're going to roll it in slightly. We're going to make the hat about 2.5 inches long, so let's go ahead and measure and mark that. Right about there. Help if I had it round first, but let's deal with that. Okay, there's the bottom. Go back to 3/8 inch teeth gouge. I'm going to go ahead and take a part there, so I've got something to shoot for. Off the tool rest just a little bit. Let me see if I can't make a little more room. Get this a little bit closer. The thing I like about this Powermatic lathe, it's got a long quill. Got a little flat spot there, so didn't get it completely rounded off, so let's go back and fix that. drill a side hole for mounting this on the tree. So I want to go ahead and do the drilling now. I'm just going to make a little V-cut where it's going to go. And since the burl looks good all the way around, I don't think it's going to make any difference where I drill. So let's just mark it like this. And use a 1/16 inch bit. I'm going to turn a bit of a knob here, or a little ball at the end. Alright. Before we do that, let's take some sandpaper out. I'll do that off the camera and sand this out a bit. Alright, finish getting that knob down. I've got it sanded nice. Let's get the speed up a little bit. I turn it down for sanding. Part it off, hit that with a little 320 at the very end. Alright, I'm going to use a very thin parting tool. It's got a shear spear, homemade tool. Alright, now I'm going to back off of this a little bit. Maybe not too much or it'll come spinning off. Let's just cut through it. There we go. And that won't take but just a little bit of sanding on the end. Okay, I've got the little 2.5 inch block for the head. I want to make sure the head is turned a little smaller than this, so I'll keep this handy to check it. And I'm just going to use the skew to take some planing cuts to round this off. Speed up a little bit. Alright, let's spot check it here. Well, my camera cut out on me. It was overheating, but I took a planing cut with a skew to turn this little 1/4 inch peg and concaved it in slightly so that it will help when I match for the glue up here. And we take the diameter of this wood, whatever it happens to be, and then we're going to mark that in the other direction because that's going to be the top of the head. Maybe just a little bit less than that because we don't want it completely round. It'll be a little more pumpkin shaped. So I'm going to go ahead and take a parting tool and mark that. I could do it now or later, but I need to drill a hole for the nose. It needs to be half the diameter of the nose, so we're just going to make sure that the nose is no bigger than half of this. I don't want it to be as big as a 1/4 inch. It's going to be more like 3/8, so I'm going to turn this to about, again, 3/8, so half that distance would be 3/16, and that will tell me where to drill a hole for the nose. Use an electric drill. Drill it longer than you think. I'll show you why later. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and shape the bottom of the head. Actually, crap, I got it backwards. Okay, this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to turn a pin on this end. I'll deal with that now. So let's go ahead and get rid of this pin. Okay. Now let's round over the bottom just a little bit. But I want it flat here so it'll stand on a table. It doesn't take much. Now we're going to start the part that's going to go in the hat. And now let's part that down. I use a 1/8 inch parting tool. And again, I want it to go in slightly so it'll fit nice and proud. But before I go any further, let's go ahead and sand that up off the lathe. Okay, I've got it sanded up to about 400. Now we're going to take this pin down to match the other side, which is this hole was 1/4 inch. So let me reset this to just under 1/4 inch. Again, we use our parting tool. Got it. Doesn't even have to be a real snug fit. It's mostly to use for just centering it during the glue up. So let's go ahead and take a thin parting tool and part that off. It's certainly longer than we need for one nose, but I thought I might turn a couple of them, so we're going to bring up tailstock for support standing out this far. I'm using spigot jaws here, which will hold it fairly well because it's holding that square in there pretty deep. So again, I'm going to use my skew, take a planing cut. Alright, we want that nose, like I say, to be a little smaller than a 1/2 inch. I think a 1/2 inch is too big. Maybe 3/8 is a little too small. So I'm going to turn the spigot on this end at 3/16. Use the parting tool to cut that. Now, to get this size, the easiest way is to take the hole we drill and just measure that with calipers, and that'll make it easy to size the spigot. And I always taper these a little bit so I can kind of check the size. This tool rests a little high. Almost. And I think that's got it. Now I'm going to just round over that nose. We want a bulbous nose. Now I changed the caliper size that I said I wanted. Bigger than 3/8, but smaller than a 1/2 inch. Alright, now let's sand that down a little bit before we part it off. Alright, I want it just a little bit rounder. Go ahead and touch on it with a little bit of sanding there, in the area. Alright, let's go ahead and part it off. Than you think for these kind of cutting parts. Alright. Use that shear spear again for that final part. Okay. Sand that up a little bit. This case is a little pointed. I'm about to show you my favorite production turning technique for this. So once you get a nose done, if you've got the luxury of a collet chuck, you can feed a rod down through here of less than about 5/8 of an inch, and you just pull it out, do another one, pull it out, and do another one. That'll speed your operation if you're getting into production turning mode. So the reason why you want to drill this hole a little deeper, let's say that this was too snug a fit. It's snug, but it'll just fit. You can use a plumber's reamer as long as you got enough depth in there to kind of ream that hole out a little bit. I'll use CA glue for the nose, but I want carpenter's glue for the hat. Just put a couple of drops of that in there. There's no real stress on the nose. For the hat, I'm going to use this Tight Bond Quick and Thick. Just put a little bit here. And just, there we go. Now I'm going to line that hole up sideways for optimum hanging, and you need to keep this under compression for about 15 minutes. Probably overkill, but I'm going to go ahead and clamp it 15 minutes. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want one a little different style, gonks or elves, Nordic nissies, whatever you want to call them, with faux fur, here's a different style. I've got a video on that. Matter of fact, I've got a video playlist of over 45 different Christmas tree ornaments you might want to check out. Remember, y'all stay safe. Come on back, you hear?